What's up, guys? We are back with the final round coverage of the 41st Annual Norman Pro-Am. This is the back nine. We are on the home stretch, aside from the final nine.
Yep.
But my name is Gabriel Dow, and I'm here with Bobby Cox.
How's it going, everyone?
So far, we've got Coda Hatfield leading the pack, still holding that lead strong the entire tournament, just playing some great golf. He is 17 under par, one stroke ahead of Emerson Keith, who is at 16 under par. And then we got Marshall Blanks and Steve Menees sitting at 8 under par. They are still tied here.
Yeah, we got some guys on the chase card charging too. So,
oh yeah.
So Marshall and
chase
Steven,
card and beyond.
and beyond,
charging.
yeah.
Yep.
So Steven and Marshall need to pick it up a little bit.
Yep. Hole 10. This is a par 4. It is 429 feet. The pond is on the left side. Most of these guys are either going to be throwing a forehand on the left side to get up to this clearing to give yourself a look for your upshot. And then there is also the big flex over the top shot, which I'm sure Emerson and guys like Coda are going to be great.
Yeah, you're really just trying to get past those trees. If you can do that, then your upshot's going to be way easier.
Yeah, and that was
not a good shot by Emerson.
Yeah, Emerson pulled that one way right. Steve, this is looking really nice. Probably end up crashing into that tree, and it does. That is a common thing to happen on this hole. It's not bad either.
No, that's totally fine.
It puts you in a great position.
Yeah.
Coda's on that big flex shot as well, and it looks like he's going to find that tree as well. And he's going to be right there near Steve. Looks like he was a little bit mad at that one, trying to give it a run for the eagle.
He was probably just trying to park it.
I mean, yeah. It's 429 feet.
Yeah, but
that's
it's super uphill though.
Yeah.
And you got to throw it really high to get over those trees.
Yeah.
It's a nice shot there.
Marshall should have a pretty clean look for his left shot, and this is going to be interesting for Emerson. Looks like he's opting for a big stall shot.
Wow.
He is only 10 feet from the basket from where he was at.
That is really impressive.
And that's 1,000+ rated golf right there. That's why those guys are rated so high. It's because they can do stuff like that.
Yeah, and I noticed on Coda's drive, he actually laid down that towel for his plant foot. I'm guessing he was just trying to go absolutely max distance and not risking the slip.
And Steve just a little bit low on his, or a little bit right on his putt.
Yeah, Steve's making like everything within like 25 in. It's just the circle's edge to outside is where he's struggling.
Yeah.
He's not quite getting those extra birdies that he needs.
Emerson moving to 17 under par. Looks like we got Coda parked.
Tried to give that back.
Marshall with a nice birdie go. Getting a stroke on Steve. Got kind of like two separate battles going on here.
I was going to say that at the beginning. Yeah, we have Coda and Emerson that have been within 2 strokes basically for the last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Steve and Marshall, who have basically been tied for the entire thing.
Exactly, yeah. It's really entertaining.
Yeah. Me too. All right, hole 11, par 3, 215 feet. That person fishing does play as a Mando. Just kidding. But there is a double Mando. You do have to hit this gap. There is no Mando over the top, though, so you can throw the tomahawk or thumber, whichever you're comfortable with, and then there is the straight gap as well, which you can throw with a mid-range or fairway driver. Just really about hitting the gap.
Yeah, and that over-the-top shot, it actually plays pretty far because those trees are fairly close to the tee box, so you got to get it extra high.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to have quite a bit of power to get it there.
Yep, and Emerson throwing out a nice shot. He's going to be right next to that tree. He might have to go to a knee there, but we will see.
Yeah, there's a lot of possible awkward lines near the screen.
Yeah, Coda tap-in birdie for him.
Same as first round.
Killing it right now. This is looking really nice from Marshall.
Are we gonna have all 4 guys make that clearance there?
That'd be a first.
That'd be really
Really nice shot from Marshall. There we have Steve.
Let's go.
And he does it. Awesome. He catches a limb there, and he's going to be in a decent position. I think that one ended up a little bit deep, if I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, and a common place to end up is also kind of down that hill on the left side of the basket, too. If you get any fade and take a skid. you're really not even looking at a birdie at that point with all the trees over there. So
Steve makes birdie. This is going to be Marshall for the birdie as well. Maintain that lead over Steven. But no, they will tie it back up here on this hole. Emerson makes par there. And Marshall with an unfortunate par as well. Coda with the CTP tapping in the birdie. He has now got 2 strokes on Emerson. Sitting at 19 under par.
Yeah, Coda's been playing really nice golf all year long, really.
Yeah, just super clean, not making too many mistakes, and just keeping it clean. Hole 12, this is a par 3, 270 feet. As you can see, the water does play the entire way, and then the basket is on this hill here. So the ideal play is going to be either a forehand, just kind of force straight into that hill, or you can throw the big knife hyzer and just have it spike right next to the basket.
Yeah, I think if you play this course quite a bit, the backhand hyzer is probably the easier play, but if you're not quite used to the course, I think the forehand just kind of jamming it in there is the preferred route. It's a little bit deep, and that's a spot where you do not want to land because you're just facing that water and it's very scary. We saw Billy Engel trickle down in that water first round and had to take an OB stroke.
And Emerson is going to be pretty deep as well. He's going to have a scary putt.
That's where you want to land.
That's exactly where you want to land.
Nope.
He is pin high, does not have a death putt, and he'll be tapping into the birdie from here. Emerson with a nice run. He left it a little bit too low. Oh my goodness.
That just soared into the middle of the pond.
And that is why they call it a death putt, ladies and gentlemen.
Now that might have been like his go-to putter, and that's gone. That could change everything, you know?
Right?
Hopefully he has a backup that's just as beat in, just as comfortable in his hand to, make some good putts.
Thank you, guys.
We got Coda here moving to 20 under par. Only one in the 20 club.
Yes, he is.
This tournament. And Marshall with a nice birdie there. This is Steve for his bogey. Unfortunate.
And that's so frustrating because, at this point, you're trying to make the final 9. You have to run it. You really need the birdie. And it's just so gusty right there, and it just took off.
Yeah. Hole 13, this is a par 4. It is 495 feet. This is one of the tougher holes out here. You've got 2 gaps you can hit. There is a forehand or a lefty hyzer line on the left side over the pond, which is a little bit more risky, but there's definitely a lot more reward with it. On the right side gap, it's a little bit tighter, but if you can keep your disc straight, you can give yourself a nice look at the basket. You really just want to avoid being on that left side of the fairway once you clear the pond. And this is a fantastic shot from Coda. He's right there in the middle, a little bit more on that right side, and he'll have an easy little putter up shot from there.
Oh, this might be danger. It's going to clear it? Okay, it's got enough distance.
Yeah, it clears it, and I think he ended up on that left side, and that spot is actually not the greatest.
It's the worst.
It's the worst.
Without going to be,
There's so many trees there, and
Yeah,
it's not fun. But Emerson taking a huge over the top shot.
Yeah, have we seen that route
flexing
yet?
It over the pond. No, nobody threw that first round.
I can't remember if Billy threw that or not, but I don't think he did.
But that's going to be in a pretty tricky spot, actually. Maybe a little bit more on that left side. We'll have a lot of trees to contend with on his upshot.
Steve playing that forehand just perfectly.
Trying to hit this window on the right. And that'll work. He's going to be about circle's edge there. Coda executing this hole perfectly.
He's just playing
in the
so
first
clean
and third
right now.
rounds, and he'll have a tap-in birdie from there. As you can see, Marshall not only is in bushes on the left, but he also has to throw through
1,000 trees.
Yeah.
You were about to say 100.
I was going to say 100 trees, but 1,000 is pretty accurate.
It might be more accurate, yeah.
But just pitching out.
Yeah, we saw Nick Bobble really have some issues on the left side. I mean, he was just hitting tree after tree after tree.
You've got to be on the right side.
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about with Steve. He's just not quite converting on those circle edge putts.
Emerson makes the birdie from there.
Easy 3.
As always, a big shout out to our coverage sponsor, D-Mart. If you guys are in need of some disc golf discs, they have a pretty nice selection there. And
yeah, they have some raffles going pretty often too, so you can get some free goodies.
Yep. Hole 14, this is a par 3. It is 348 feet. This hole is a little tricky. The green kind of carries downhill towards the left. You ideally want to throw something flat and low, just kind of riding this crest of this hill off the tee to get all the way down there. You do want to be careful of having something a little bit too stable, because if you end up on that left side on that line of trees, it is not fun.
Yeah, I mean, the rough on all these holes are just brutal, so staying in the fairway is super important.
And Emerson threw a fantastic shot, just barely caught that last tree on the left, and still going to have a putt, but it's going to be scary because it is downhill.
Marshall going with the big flex shot. Did he make it all the way around it, or is he in that tree? Do you remember?
I believe he's in the tree,
he's in it? Okay.
But he's in that, because there's 2 trees there, and I think he's in that gap to where he might have a little line to pitch up for his 3.
Yeah, and Steve just overcooked that one.
Not a bad spot. He'll be able to lay up for the 3 from there.
Yeah, Steve is really consistent with those forehand up shots from about 200 in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's solid with those. Coda tapping the pole there.
Oh my, look at that flexibility.
Man, that is like...
Dude, that is as close as you can get to the splits without actually...
We got an Olympic gymnast, ladies and gentlemen, on the card. Marshall Blanks.
Yeah.
Not really, but that was impressive.
That was really nice. And Emerson really needed that birdie there.
Yeah,
to try to keep up with Coda.
Bad. He'll be tapping in for par and stay at 18 under. Really unfortunate miss there from Emerson, and very uncharacteristic. Stay at 21 under par.
7 down for the round for Coda. That is
he's
some nice
killing it.
Yeah, some nice golf.
Yep. Hole 15, this is a par 3, 390 feet. This is a bonus birdie. Probably the hardest bonus birdie on the course, honestly. There is this gap, as you can see, straight up the gut. As long as you can hit this gap, you'll have somewhat of a look, but hitting the gap is the hardest part. You really just want to throw a fairway driver or distance driver, something that'll just flip up flat and carry straight for as long as possible, really.
Yeah, and even after you hit the gap, I mean, the second half of the fairway is fairly uphill too, so it's hard to get that height right.
Yeah.
To get all the way up to the basket.
Man, Coda clears the gap there. He'll have a pretty easy up and down for his par. Emerson trying to go for that big flex shot, but that's just so hard to hit. The gap is so tight, and you have to throw it on the perfect angle. And
Come on.
Yeah, that gap really isn't even there. I don't even know how I found that.
Yeah, it's so hard.
And is that water OB or is that casual?
I believe.
I think it's OB. You think it's casual?
I think it's casual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
But Marshall was
a little bit short of it, yeah.
Still not the easiest upshot. And Steve with a bomb. He's going to have a long look for his 2. Makes the gap.
Dude, he breaks out those drives occasionally, and you're just like, where did that come from?
Yeah. Emerson with going a little deep, and he's going to have a long putt to save his par.
Yeah, he's looking to lose one from Coda at this point.
Marshall with a fantastic up shot, puts it right next to the pin. He'll be dropping in for par. Coda just laying up. That'll work. Steve just laying up as well. That's surprising to see.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta go off like the feel. You know, if you feel like you're not gonna make it, why do it? You know.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to risk everything.
See, my thing is I always feel like I'm gonna make it, and then
I mean, that's the correct mentality. You just gotta execute that.
Exactly.
It's a fine line.
It is a very fine line that can cost you
Yeah.
a couple strokes.
Yeah, you do tend to do some crazy stuff that sometimes doesn't work out. Sometimes it does, and I'm just like, that was insane.
Yeah, and that's why I'm behind the camera and not in front of it.
That's right, same here.
Yeah. Hole 16, this is a par 3. It is 387 feet. This is one of the more treacherous holes on this course. As you can see, there is water all along the left side, and the island is very small on the left as well. If you're playing for the birdie, a forehand's in play. You can throw a knife hyzer like hole 13. But as you can see, Coda playing the safe bailout play, which is smart considering his position, and he'll be able to lay up for the 3 there.
Yeah, I think before the tournament even started, that was his game plan. He was playing this hole safe every single round.
Yep.
Not even gonna worry about it.
Yeah, he told me there's another pin position there. You'll see when Coda gets up to his shot with mulch around it, and he said he was aiming for that all rounds just to take the 3, which is really smart because this hole is where your opponents will make mistakes.
Oh, dude, this hole has to average like close to a 5.
Yeah.
Let's see it, baby.
And this is Emerson. He's got to make the birdie here.
And that's the thing. If you hit the top of that little peninsula, you're skipping. You have to hit the hillside.
Yeah, he's opting to re-tee instead of going to the drop zone because the drop zone's honestly just as hard as
if not
the
harder.
tee shot. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And that is the worst of events.
He is teeing for 5 right here. He absolutely has got to get this on.
There we go. And he is going to be tapping in
For 6.
Wow.
And that's why Coda does this play.
That is exactly why Coda does this play, and it's awesome.
It was crazy first round. We saw 3 of the 4 guys on our card put it within like 10 feet.
Yeah.
And then Coda was the only straggler that was on that right side. But
Yeah.
that was obviously intentional from him. And Steve not quite converting on that birdie.
Unfortunate miss from Marshall as well. Wow.
I believe Steve did stay in.
He did.
Okay.
And he will stay at 8 under par. We got Marshall sitting at 10.
And I'm sure Emerson is just sick to his stomach right now.
Yeah, that is not a fun way. I mean, there's only 2 holes left, and that's not what you want.
Luckily, after that first round, he has such insane separation between him and the field that he has a good enough cushion to make the final 9 still.
Yeah. Hole 17, this is a par 3, 256 feet. It is one of the easier holes out here at Lions Park. You're really just throwing a sharp spike hyzer through this skinny gap here. The angle just kind of matches with the gap that you have to hit. So I feel like that's what makes it easy to hit, is because you just kind of match your disc to the angle of the trees and just get it nice and high, and make sure you don't throw it too hard, or you will end up where Marshall's at right here, and that's a tough spot because there is jail behind the basket. He's just going to have to pitch around for a 3.
And that should be about 20 feet out, as long as it didn't skip more down to the left.
Yeah. Emerson, he has gone a little deep as well, and him and Marshall both are just going to be pitching up for 3.
Yeah, this basket probably has the most shrubbery out of all the holes out here around it.
Yeah. Emerson just pitching through the trees. Didn't really have any kind of line. Coda with a weird miss there.
Yeah, I call that a shank for him.
Yeah, that's definitely a shank. He's usually got those all day. Steve with the park job. He makes good for the birdie. He's got the lone birdie on the card. That's very surprising to see.
Yeah, it is.
Moves into 9 under par. Emerson will stay at 14. Marshall will stay at 10. All right, last hole of the third round. It is hole 18, par 3, 390 feet. This is basically just a repeat of hole 1, but harder.
Yes.
The gap is harder to hit. The initial tunnel's a little bit further. The basket's further away, and the rocks stand taller to guard that basket. And you really just want to clear this gap, have something flip up flat, maybe get a tiny bit of turn on it to get that max distance, and because you really have to throw it low.
Yeah, I mean, you're really just trying to get out in the open, and Steve obviously hit those trees, and he's going to be in a really tough spot.
Yeah. Coda hits the tree on the left there, and he's going to be in a tough spot as well.
Oh, man, no one's executing the shot so far.
Hitting that left side as well.
There we go.
And Emerson, this is looking really nice.
And even that's not even pin high.
No.
It's close, but
he's got the best look of the bunch.
Steve going full send. Wait,
He's
what?
going forehand roller.
Wait, was that intentional?
I am not 100% sure, but if it was, that was fantastic.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just give him the credit. That was a nice forehand roller there, Steve.
Yep. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Marshall just flicking one up there, and this looks really sawed off. He's going to be way right and way short. It's going to be a long putt to save his 3. Just barely hits the band there. A little bit too high, but good commitment from Marshall there. And that was...
I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, I know it's windy in Oklahoma, but that was just like not even close.
I am not used to seeing Emerson throw putts like that. That is very surprising to see.
Coda with a really nice par save.
I'll keep him at 21 under par. This is Emerson.
Yeah, not the back 9 he wanted, that's for sure.
Definitely not. And that is a very unfortunate bogey from Emerson.
8 strokes off from Coda now. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Being only 1 stroke back starting the round. Those last 3 holes.
Yeah.
And Steve with an unfortunate bogey as well. That'll move him to 8 under par. Marshall tapping in the bogey as well. And that will move him to 9 under par. And that is going to conclude the final round of the 41st Annual Norman Pro-Am. So far, Coda Hatfield is absolutely killing the field. Emerson with an unfortunate break there on the last 4 holes. He is sitting at 13 under par, 8 strokes back of Coda. Alex Savage getting back in the mix. I mean, after that AM win, coming here and making the final 9, that is fantastic.
Very
and
impressive.
Then we've got our local pro and good friend Randy Forsander shooting the hot round at Northeast Lions Park for the entire tournament, shooting a 48.
So salty.
Making his way to the final card. We got Clayton Lawson, GT Hancock, and Daniel Stacy making the final 9 as well. So we are going to have some herd golf for you guys for the final 9.
Card,
We've got a 5-way tie for 3rd place. So should be real interesting to watch, and make sure to check it out.
Yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. You can check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and we'll see you guys for that final 9.